Good afternoon. This is the Board of County Commissioners Board Work Session. It is Wednesday, April 26, 2023. It is 2:05 p.m. This session is set to go until 3 p.m. This is a hybrid meeting. We're at 3000 Pacific Avenue Southeast, room 110. For public virtual attendance, you may follow along on the Thurston County YouTube channel. I'm Carolina Mejia. I'm the chair of the board. To my right is Vice Chair Ty Menser. Commissioner Gary Edwards will be joining us here soon via Zoom. Also in the boardroom, we have County Manager Ramiro Chavez, as well as Assistant County Manager Robin Campbell, and we have staff from Public Works joining us, and also our new Assistant County Manager, Rob Gelder. We have staff from Public Works joining us here today, and we'll go through introductions briefly. And we're discussing the state of the water and sewer utilities briefing. So who's?
I'll get it started.
Tim, how about we go through introductions before I share the screen? What do you have?
Okay, very good. I am Tim Wilson. I'm the Water Resources Division Manager with Public Works.
I'm Aaron Tormanen. I'm the utility planner for the water and sewer utility at Public Works.
I'm Kevin Patching. I'm the Water and Sewer Utility Operations Supervisor out of Public Works.
I'm Joe Plahuta, Senior Water Resource Engineer for Public Works.
Karen Weiss, Assistant Director of Public Works.
And Commissioner Edwards has joined us via Zoom. Commissioner Edwards, can you hear us all right, sir?
Yes, I can, if you can hear me.
Awesome. Okay, Tim.
Okay, very good. Feel like driving?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thank you for having us here today. Again, Tim Wilson with Public Works brought along with me our financial and technical heavy hitters. We're here today to brief the board on the state of the water and sewer utilities, and we're excited to provide this briefing to you and highlight the positive direction these utilities are headed, in large part due to your past and ongoing support. As we start our discussion, we think it's valuable to remind the board about the uniqueness of these utilities and why Thurston County is in the business of operating water and sewer utilities. The county owns and operates 3 water and 4 sewer utilities that are not connected and in different geographic areas of the county. Combined, the utilities currently serve 837 connections and provide essential public health and safety functions. The county is responsible for providing non-interrupted service to our ratepayers 24/7, 365. And with the exception of the Grand Mound systems, all the water and sewer utilities were acquired by requirement of the state regulatory agencies due to the systems either failing or being poorly managed by the communities they serve. It is the sole responsibility of the county to operate and manage the water and sewer systems in accordance with state law. Next slide. Great. We have a lot to share with you today. We want to talk about our mission to the customers we serve and some of the metrics we use to gauge success. We're going to spend a bit of time refreshing your memories on the individual utilities and the communities they serve. We'll talk about some of the key organizational and operational improvements implemented in the last 5 years and how they have improved the management of our utilities. We'll revisit some of our past and planned infrastructure improvements and capital projects. We'll share administrative and planning improvements either completed or currently in process. We'll talk about some of the ongoing challenges with our utilities and the opportunities available to improve service to our customers. And lastly, we'll talk about why we feel the water and sewer utilities are well positioned for future success. You're really good. The mission statement for the water and sewer utilities that Public Works staff work every day to achieve is important to us. And what makes it even more valuable is that it was developed by the individuals who are charged with operating these systems. The mission statement, selected by the water and sewer operators in a 2021 work session, was simply to serve the highest quality drinking water, provide exceptional customer service, and exceed the wastewater collection and treatment requirements while protecting the environment and people we serve. All of the staff in this room and those back at Public Works who support the water and sewer utilities are united in this mission of service to our customers. As our mission statement outlines, our goals regarding the management of the utilities are focused on providing safe and reliable water and sewer service to protect public health, the environment, and to facilitate economic growth. To achieve that goal, we have focused efforts on developing a robust asset management program to properly plan for infrastructure replacement or upgrades through the Capital Facilities Program. We've also focused on providing adequate long-term funding of the utilities to provide rate stability and reduce the risk of rate volatility, infrastructure failure, and public and environmental health and safety risks associated with unreliable service delivery. For small utilities, we operate at a high level. While providing uninterrupted service to our customers in 2022, over 120 million gallons of potable water was delivered to our customers and over 89 million gallons of wastewater was treated prior to discharge to our waterways. As mentioned previously, our water and sewer utilities are unique in that they are not geographically connected like a larger water or sewer utilities such as those of nearby cities. We serve the Boston Harbor and Tam-O-Shanter communities in the North County with both potable water and sewer service, and also operate a large on-site septic system for the Olympic View community in the North County. In the south end of the county, we operate the Grand Mound water and sewer utilities. The challenge in operating small utilities effectively is that while each system requires independent potable water and sewer treatment facilities, the customer bases to support the facilities and infrastructure are small. Without proper planning, administrative, and organizational structure, this can lead to struggles meeting capital improvement needs, high operational costs, and rate volatility. An overview of the communities we serve are on the following slides. Both water and sewer service is provided to customers in the Grand Mound service area. There are currently 415 connections that include residential, commercial, and industrial customers. The sewer system consists of integrated gravity, force main, and vacuum sewers, and the wastewater treatment plant. The treated wastewater discharges to the Chehalis River. The water system consists of 2 water source wells, chlorine disinfection, corrosion control, distribution mains, fire hydrants, and 2 reservoirs. Driven by community property owners, the UGA at Grand Mound was established in the mid-1990s, resulting in the construction of the water and sewer systems. This is the only community that is not being operated due to a mandate by the state. The Boston Harbor water and sewer utilities are located on the Northeast Peninsula and serves a mainly residential community. The Boston Harbor Marina is the only commercial customer served by this system. The water system consists of 2 wells, 1 reservoir, 1 filtration system removing iron and manganese, and fire hydrants. The water is chlorinated for disinfection. The sewer system consists of a step conveyance system and a wastewater treatment plant. The treated wastewater discharges to Butt Inlet. Located adjacent to marine waters supporting shellfish, sewer was first proposed in the late 1980s as a result of failing septic systems. The completion of construction of the wastewater treatment plant and collection system was completed in 1990. The water system, which was poorly managed, was acquired by Thurston County at the same time.
Can I ask a question, or are we waiting until the end?
Absolutely.
And for the outfall, I'm seeing that for the Boston Harbor, it's Butt Inlet. And I know that there's this huge cleanup that the port is currently doing, and I'm wondering, has there been like any coordination? Has the port reached out to the group, or like has there been any communication between the 2 entities?
Not on that specifically, but I have been attending the port meetings on that cleanup. But nothing specifically related to our wastewater discharge at this point. Okay, our next utility is Tam-O-Shanter. Tam-O-Shanter is located off Cooper Point Road and provides water and sewer to a single-family residential community and sewer only to Beverly Beach, which is an adjacent single-family residential community. All totaled, there are 115 connections in this service area. The sewer system consists of mainly gravity collection with isolated pumping systems and a wastewater treatment plant. The treated wastewater discharges into Bud Inlet as well. The water system is comprised of one well, one water reservoir, a booster pump station, and a distribution system with fire hydrants. The water is disinfected with chlorine. A second well was recently drilled to address water quality issues at the current source well. We'll talk a little bit more about that later on. The Tamishan water and sewer systems were acquired by Thurston County in 1976 under an agreement with the county as dictated by the Department of Ecology. Olympic View is the smallest of our utilities. It consists of a step system that pumps the effluent from each septic tank to a large on-site septic system owned by the county. The system serves 28 residences and was acquired in the early 1970s due to a requirement by the Washington State Departments of Health and Ecology.
There are systems of this nature elsewhere in the county that are not managed by the county. So why did this one, they just weren't doing whatever needed to be done and other communities are?
Yes, based on what I know, and you may have more background on that, Kevin or Joe, but yes, this was a system that was not being managed to requirements. So it was mandated that a government take it over. So we took it over at that point.
What do we have to do there versus, versus those, this is very different than the other ones.
Yeah, correct. So each of these homes has an individual tank. The liquid goes up to the drain field, and we have that picture is a large, is the large on-site septic system, so it's the drain field. It has ports that we monitor. There's controls. We have to do everything a certain way. There has been, in the past, when I first started here, there was some issues at that drain field. Wasn't working correctly. Now it's working as good as it should. They've come out and pulled samples. So it's like any other drain field, other than just a much larger size. This one is really important because right out of their, a stone's throw from where they live is Taylor shellfish. And so when the tide's down, you can see that's one of their main growing places. So it is really, it's looked at on a regular basis to make sure we're doing a good job.
And before the present system was installed, the way the sewer worked out there is each residence discharged into a common gravity line, and that gravity line flowed to a pump station, like literally right on the beach, and then was pumped back to the drain field. So when the county took it over, we got rid of that pump station. It was right next to the beach, minimizing impact of the shellfish, and then moved that pumping activity to the individual step tanks on each property.
And it's a lot cleaner water that's going up to that because the way those step tanks are designed, it's all filtered and screened. And so what's going up there is a relatively clean effluent water. And then those tanks are pumped every 4 years. But because it's under the Department of Health, not Department of Ecology in this case, the inspections on the tanks in the system are more rigorous than it would be at a normal place. So
Can I ask a follow-up to that? If the system is now changed, right, and we've upgraded it and, everything's coming out well, how long, is there gonna be a point where we're pass it on to the community and be like, okay, we've gotten so far with it, now it's, or is it really that now we own it, we're stuck with it?
It's gonna be hard for us to.
I think once it becomes a county.
Exit strategy.
So once it's a county, it's stuck with the county.
At some point, we were exploring with the public utility district. And we embark on an analysis whether they want to take over all of the sewer and water utilities in the county. But since there's a revenue-driven organization, just didn't pencil out taking over. So we tried that, especially this one. There was an issue at that point. they just couldn't make a profit on this because the rates are so tight. And the amount of work that needs to be done to replace the system is so high. And it's always that balance. And I believe the board, for this is one of the systems that is going to be worked on using ARPA funds. Is this one or Thompson? Okay. And Thompson is the same. I mean, it's always that, you cannot rate so much the rates to the customers because it will be unattainable to pay those fees on a monthly basis, and yet the work needs to be done.
Say they're already there at $250 a month or something, right?
We tried.
Any other questions at this point?
Commissioner Edwards, just let me make sure. Commissioner Edwards, any questions from you?
No, I don't have any questions. Thank you. I don't know if you heard that or not.
Yeah, we did. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Okay, moving on, there have been several significant organizational and operational improvements implemented in the last 5 years, all of which have increased our level of service. A new classification series for our water and sewer operations team was adopted by the board. This improvement has allowed for certification-based advancement opportunities which contribute to employee retention and improved plant coverage. Until recent years, the planning and engineering support of the water and sewer utilities was challenging due to competing needs. The creation of the Water Resources Technical Services Team has allowed for improved planning and engineering support for the water and sewer utilities. This improvement has allowed us to more quickly advance both planning and infrastructure improvement projects. In an effort to improve our customers' experience, a utilities team was formed to provide high-quality customer assistance and improve billing standards and procedures. Additionally, our communication with customers has been improved through quarterly utility newsletters, improved annual water quality reports, and a focus on improving communication with our bilingual customer base. With your support, we have also been proactive recently on infrastructure improvement and capital projects. An asset management program for each of our utilities has come a long way. The asset management program is a spatially referenced inventory of all components of our systems and will allow us to manage our systems more proactively and with greater cost efficiency. A second 465,000 gallon reservoir was completed in Grand Mound in 2019. This reservoir has assisted us in meeting fire safety standards and meeting the potable water demands for the growing community. In addition to the completion of electrical control system improvements in Boston Harbor in 2020, supervisory control and data acquisition or SCADA upgrades are ongoing at all plants. A replacement generator for the Boston Harbor Sewer Treatment Plant was recently put into service, providing alternative power and redundancy in our system. Many safety improvements, including improved lockout tagout procedures and safer chlorination delivery, have been completed at our facilities. The recent well dug at Tamashan, we are hopeful, may address water quality issues for that community. Moving on, because this is very hard to see, it's more for illustrative purposes than anything else. This is our planned investment in the utilities for the 6-year cycle. Bottom corner, in total, we have roughly $18 million planned for capital projects during that time frame. The highlighted lines up above, thanks to you, are the $2.78 million that has been allocated for water and sewer main replacements in Tamashan. And the second line down is the $3.5 million allocation for a similar project in Boston Harbor. Those projects are so significant for those communities with aging infrastructure and will allow us to really make up some ground and replace a good portion of their underground infrastructure.
And on that as well, there's been quite a bit of board authorization of refunding for infrastructure projects in all of the areas, I think with the exception right now of Olympic View, so. And demonstrating that the rates can support the infrastructure.
There are also significant administrative updates that have either been completed recently or are in the process of being developed and adopted. Much needed code updates and water and sewer development standards were completed in 2020. Improvements to our sewer pretreatment program and cross-connection program are being developed with a focus on reducing the operational impact to infrastructure and improving customer safety.
Bring us those code updates too. Bring us some more of those.
Okay.
Coming your way.
Careful what you ask for.
Coming your way.
Those were fun. It's been a year or two.
There are several planning efforts that have either been completed, are awaiting state agency approval, or in the process by our consultant. Both the utility consolidation feasibility study and accompanying revenue requirement and rate design study have outlined the clear benefits of consolidating our small utilities. Our water system plan updates, which have been submitted and are awaiting state agency approval, will better position the utilities to compete for grants and loans. And the Grand Mound General Sewer and Wastewater Facility Plan, which is being developed by our consultant, will provide a roadmap for serving a growing Grand Mound community. Each of these planning efforts are instrumental in providing a pathway to success of the utilities. As mentioned in an earlier slide, there are challenges associated, especially with the management of small, geographically disconnected systems with aging infrastructure. New regulatory requirements related to nutrient removal will add operating costs to some of our wastewater treatment plants. Addressing source water quality issues in Tamishan is expensive both in the short and long term. We are hopeful that the recently drilled well will provide improved water quality for the community. Managing 7 separate utilities and rate structures is challenging for staff and confusing for our customers. Small individual utility funds are prone to rate volatility and are costlier to manage than larger utility funds. Much of the infrastructure, especially in Boston Harbor and Tamishan, are getting closer to the end of their useful life. As mentioned, the aging infrastructure often equals increased operational costs and lack of reliability. The $18 million investment plan for 2023 through 2028 will be very helpful in addressing this issue.
Can you say a little more about the nutrient removal requirement that's coming, I believe?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so our Boston Harbor and Tamishan facilities are both covered under the Puget Sound nutrient general permit, as are all wastewater plants that discharge to the Puget Sound. And right now, we're kind of in the first phase of this 5-year permit cycle. So right now, our obligations are just sampling. So we have monthly influent and effluent nitrogen sampling. The intent of that is to inform a decision on Ecology's part 5 years down the road in the next permit cycle as to hard limits for those nutrient numbers.
So we have some time, and then if they, worst case scenario, we have to then add additional components to our 2 mini plants.
Correct, and part of this, this first permit cycle too is doing an optimization assessment. So we're doing that work right now with, actually with the help of Association of Washington Cities. They're working with Jacobs kind of on a global project for all the plants discharging to Puget Sound. They're looking at, we actually had our site meeting with the consultants yesterday, looking at what can reasonably be done at these facilities, kind of using an ACART approach for removing nutrients. So we're going to be getting a report from them, and then we'll use that report to inform our response to how we better remove nutrients in our 2 plants at this point.
So it sounds like I mean, I don't know exactly what technology is required and whether or not the scale is important in terms of feasibility, but it sounds like ecology is working plant by plant with different, it's not just like, everyone's gotta do X.
Correct.
Find a way. It sounds like they're looking at what's feasible at the particular tiny plant like this.
And they've kind of grouped it into three size classifications. There's small loaders, which are both of Thurston County's plants, then there's moderate loaders, and there's large loaders. And I can't recall, I think lot is either a moderate or a large loader, so it would be held to a more stringent nutrient removal standard than say Boston Harbor or Tamashan. And so part of this first 5 years of the permit cycle, we're really doing research, seeing what's reasonably achievable, and then using that to inform our response strategy on the county side, and then on the ecology side, they're using that for information to inform what this will be for our next permit.
Okay, moving on to opportunities. Just want to say we're very excited about the opportunities available to improve and better position the water and sewer utilities. Consolidation of the multiple rate structures and funds will address rate volatility, allow for rate-funded capital, provide administrative efficiencies, and better serve our customers. A briefing specifically on this topic is scheduled for late May. The board has allocated ARPA dollars to infrastructure improvements in the Tamashan and Boston Harbor communities. This commitment by the board will update a significant amount of aging infrastructure in these communities. As mentioned previously, eventual approval of our updated water system plans will make us eligible to apply for more grants and loans. We've tried to be very patient with that process. I think those were submitted a long time ago, and due to staffing issues at the state and other issues, we've been slow to receive those plans. The recently drilled source well in Tamashan may likely address water quality issues that would otherwise be very costly to deal with. And lastly, the Grand Mound General Sewer and Wastewater Facility Plan will provide a comprehensive roadmap to support planned growth in Grand Mound. So we've had significant organizational, administrative, financial, operational, planning, and infrastructure improvements that have occurred in recent years. Many of these efforts and improvements are continuing, which will improve the strength of the utilities. The Board of County Commissioners has been a champion for improving our utilities, and continued support and engagement will set our utilities up for long-term resiliency, financial stability, and excellent customer service. So we're feeling optimistic at this point. The Thurston County's water and sewer utilities have come a long way in recent years, and with your past and continued support are well-positioned for long-term success. Staff would like to take the opportunity to thank you for your support of the utilities and would answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you. Questions, Commissioner Edwards? Can we stop sharing the screen? Stop sharing the screen. Commissioner Edwards, any questions, sir? Commissioner Munster?
I think I was asking them along the way. I don't have any at this point. Sounds like we're moving along.
I have a question in regards to the rates, right? We've been kind of seeing those come every year, and I'm wondering, is that something that we're gonna be seeing again this year?
Rate increases.
Yeah, we will be talking to you more about that at May 31st briefing. We have a rate structure that was put together as part of our planning effort last year by FCS that developed a structure under the consolidated utility. So we're going to be bringing that forward and talking to you more about that in May. So that would be a move over a 5-year period to to what's called postage stamp rates. So it would reduce over time the high rates that are charged to some of these smaller utilities and develop a common rate system among our utilities.
Commissioner Edwards? Okay, hearing,
I have a question, Madam Chair. Just curiosity, what is the second oxidation ditch for the schedule?
So, the schedule for it. So, we're doing the wastewater facility planning effort right now for Grand Mound. That process will conclude in fall of this year, and that will develop the design criteria for that project. We're anticipating that design would proceed through 2024, and we'll be looking to construct that project in 2025.
So when that is completed, do you have a sense as to how much capacity we can, in terms of customers?
Gosh, I don't remember the number here, I use off the top of my head, it would roughly double.
Or that's what,
plans,
that's
treatment
my
capacity.
understanding, yeah. That's a great investment.
Is that part of the growth management for Grand Mound that you're talking about on the slide? Second oxidation ditch?
And for our UGA to fully build out, this project would provide the capacity for that build out to occur.
Because we already built the second reservoir for water, so we're well positioned for the growth on that one. Very good.
May I ask a question? So just be, I'll play the new card. So what were the issues for the Tamishan water quality issues?
So currently Tamishan has a very, very deep well. It's over 500 feet deep, and we were having issues in that well with organics. So and we treat chlorine for disinfection, and so we were forming disinfection byproducts. Initially, it was an issue with total trihalomethanes, and so we were able to address that through a reservoir aeration system. Then we started having issues with haloacetic acids, HAA5s. We have not been able to resolve that issue through treatment, so we decided to try to pursue a new well source. And we had indications on the well log for that existing well, the 500-foot deep well, that there was a water-bearing layer about 200 feet below the surface. And so that's what we targeted for this new source well. And it's been drilled and pump tested. It appears to provide adequate capacity. We're just waiting at this point to get water quality, source water quality data back on that well, and then we can make a decision whether we need to also pursue treatment with that new source, or if we can use that water without further treatment.
Of the four systems for wastewater, I would imagine, given the age and pre-CMA, the three of the four systems are capped. There's no way to expand customers for them, so there's no way to share any of the rate impacts or the capital, et cetera.
Correct,
Okay.
and for Boston Harbor, I would caveat that with, there's no way to increase our number of connections until we deal with our infiltration and inflow issue and, free up more capacity of the treatment plant.
But is it grandfather? Is it grandfather though to have a certain amount of additional hookups, or?
So there's actually a standing resolution right now by the board that caps the number of connections in our Boston Harbor utility. And so that.
How many empty lots do we have? I think it's only a couple, handful.
There's a couple undeveloped lots that were
Yeah,
originally
they
assessed
can
as
be
part of the
part of the
ULID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2:38, we are adjourned. Thank you.
Good job.